Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. This is amazing. I will be the first one to say that this is a shock for me to report because I did not like this book. I did not like The Priory of the Orange Tree. I DNF'd after 300 pages. For those who follow me, you've seen the videos. And yet here we are with the prequel novella. It's like 250 pages of what happens literally right before, like the 2 years prior to what happens in The Priory. That's this book. It's short, it's concise, and it is fabulous. I think I've demonstrated at this point that I don't mind sharing my opinions, even if they are opinions that aren't shared by everyone or if they're not the popular opinion with regards to a book. And so I would really like to preface that it's amazing that I'm coming here to say that Among the Burning Flowers is phenomenal. I was shocked how good this was. I decided to read this because I wanted to give Samantha Shannon another chance because I own multiple other books of hers and I needed to figure out what I wanted to do. After reading The Priory, at least the beginning of it, and being really frustrated, I was ready to just be like, nope, and just send all of it away. But this is so short, and I was like, all right. It also has these beautiful full-page art depictions. There's multiple pieces of art throughout this book. It's pretty. It's really pretty. So I was like, all right, fine. 250 pages, I can do that. Let's see if Samantha Shannon can get me to care in a way that she wasn't able to in The Priory of the Orange Tree. And did I care? Yeah. I love these characters so much. This was very well done. This is what I was really hoping for in The Priory. I was hoping for really great world building, a very large world, big things are happening, we've got dragons, we've got a war, we've got these issues, but we have characters that we connect to and that we love, and we can feel a lot of their pain and a lot of their hope and a lot of their grief and a lot of their passion and pride, a lot of their dreams and what they hope to accomplish. And I just think that this was so well done. The things that were missing in The Priory, for me, at least the first 300 pages, they were here. I care so much about these characters. Estina Malago, I bet I'm pronouncing that wrong, but regardless, I love her character. Oh my God, like she was phenomenal. The main character of this is the Donmada Morosa. I don't know if I'm rolling an R where I shouldn't, but whatever. I love her character too. We also have a little bit of Albrecht. Again, it's very likely that I am pronouncing all these names wrong. But regardless, I think that what Samantha Shannon did in this book was phenomenal, and I really cared about the characters. I absolutely loved them in that order, with Malago being number 1, Morosa being 2, and Albrecht being number 3. Just phenomenal. Now, here comes to my recommendations. If you hated The Priory of the Orange Tree, you might like this. If you loved The Priory of the Orange Tree, I think you'll like this. After reading this, and I would give this a 4.5 stars. Okay, so like, wow. Going from a DNF to a 4.5 stars, I am thoroughly impressed. Where would I read this? Well, okay, I'm not the perfect person to ask about this because I haven't read anything from A Day of Fall Night, and I DNF'd The Priory of the Orange Tree at page 300. So, but I will say, Goodreads, when I read over other people's recommendations, the people who loved The Priory, and loved the series, they recommend reading this third. I'm going to offer you the exact opposite recommendation. Because why not? I think that if I had read this first, I would have been able to get further along in The Priory of the Orange Tree. Because the characters in this, they do show up here, okay? That shouldn't be surprising. This is a like prequel novella-esque thing. There are important characters in this that show up here. But their cameos in here are shorter. And I remember reading their characters in The Priory and being like, oh, you're interesting. Oh, where are you going? And then they were gone. And me being like, hello, can you please bring them back? Because I didn't care about the main characters that much. If you read this first, I think those moments in The Priory are going to be these little Easter egg moments where you're like, oh my God, hi, it's been a hot minute. How are you? Are you surviving? I think I would have loved those moments. I would have been like, oh my God. I would have had a great, like, flash to go say hi to these characters and like have a beautiful little moment with them. If I had started here, there's a chance I would have finished The Priory. I'd also like to point out, and I think this is astounding, after reading this book, I wanted to pick The Priory up again. What? Oh, I know. The shock. And am I going to? No. I'm still mad. But what does this mean for The Priory of the Orange Tree, Day of Fall Night, all the books? Well, first off, this one has earned its place on my bookshelf. I will be box setting this alone, exclusively just this book, and it will find its place up here because it has earned that. Because it was beautiful, well told, concise. I cared. I loved the characters. My heart hurt in a good way. Loved this. Excellent. You get to have a place on my bookshelf. I'm so proud of you. Anyways, what am I going to do with The Priory and Day of Fall Night? They're going in timeout. They're going to stay in timeout. They've been in timeout since I got mad at The Priory of the Orange Tree. They're going back in my closet. They're going to sit over there, and I'm not going to look at them for many years. I'll get to them. Maybe. I've had people say that this is better than The Priory. We'll see. It's so monstrous. Like, we'll see. What am I going to do with the Bone Season? I don't know. I do know, I think there's one more book being published in the Bone Season, which is going to be like 7 books long. Oh my God. And that's not a bad thing. I love long seasons. It's just that with this author, I'm a little nervous. But this is her most recent publication. It was back in September of this year, 2025. So maybe her next book in the Bone Season will follow the growth in writing that I absolutely love seeing here versus in comparison to her earlier work of The Priory of the Orange Tree. I would also feel like I should have a disclaimer here. I've never written a book. I'm an academic writer. I can write journal articles for scientific journals, that kind of thing. You know, I'm an academic writer, but I am not a fantasy writer. So, you know, I'm laying down harsh judgments, but like I'm not claiming that I can do better. Just making sure that's clear. But regardless, for the Bone season, I think I'm going to see what the rating is for book 7 and how people feel about it as a conclusion to the series. And then I'm not buying any more books from her. I will read book 1 of the Bone season in a few years because my TBR is set all the way through June of 2027. I already have the plan laid out of what I want to read. Every once in a while, I throw in a different book because I want to, but it's very rare. In fact, it never really happens that I throw in a ginormous series in a random place. So maybe way down the line, I will give the Bone season a chance. And I'm only gonna, weirdly enough, I own book 1 and book 6 because choices were made. But I will not be buying any more of those books. I'm going to read book 1, and if it feels good enough to read book 2, then I'll buy book 2. I feel like this is how I should approach most of the series that I buy, but it is not how I do most of the series that I buy. Regardless, I recommend this. Shockingly enough, this was phenomenal. Shockingly enough, it's a 4.5 stars. Shockingly enough, there's no spice. Loved it. Chef's kiss, guys. Chef's kiss. Please be aware this is not a standalone. In the end, nothing is wrapped up. It's what happens right before the Priory. My guess is the Priory is supposed to wrap everything up. So this doesn't wrap anything up. Against the recommendations of everyone else online, I recommend reading this first if you want to try Samantha Shannon, because you'll like this. And it won't drown you, in my opinion. Everybody can have a different thought process, and that's okay. Some people recommend a more chronological order to read and recommend starting here, and maybe if I would have had a better experience. But we won't know until I try again, and I'm not trying again for years. For years, if ever. We'll see. But this one, yes. Loved it. Excellent. Excellent. Very pleased to say this. Next up, Iona. Back to the Eon and Iona duology. I'm going to finish off with Iona. Keep reading what you love.